Good afternoon, my crafty, yarny friends. As you can see, my setup looks quite a bit different. I am in my bedroom today because I am edging the fleece blankets for Linus Project. I am working on 17 pieces of fleece. I've got most of them done. So there are all of the blankets that I'm going to crochet the edges on. There are 17 of them. Most of those are the fleece kits that I purchased from Joann's when Joann's was going out of business. My purpose in this video is to show you how I prep the fleece for the edge of the blanket. So what I do is, let me give you a close-up. Okay, if you can see that. I have a serger. Now it's three threads rather than four, but it still works because it keeps that edge from curling up. So when I lay my ruler on the fleece and use my skip blade to make the holes in the fleece so I can crochet, it keeps the fleece from curling. So I can use that skip blade better on the fleece. Okay, so let me see. There's my serger. So I'm going to show you. I don't, how I do this is, okay, this is the selvage edge. So I'm going to take this entire selvage edge off, and it's going to make this piece a little bit smaller than maybe you want it, but it's going to give it a nice straight edge. It's going to take that selvage off. And some of these pieces still had the Joann's label still on them. They still had the little edge that said Joann's. Where did I go? Now, on the edges that don't have the selvage, I just barely do the edge so that I'm not taking anything off, really. It's going to take maybe an eighth of an inch or so off. Because my serger has a knife on it, and there isn't a whole lot I can do about that. I can't lift the knife, so when I do the edge, when I sew the edge of this, the knife is there whether I want it to be or not. So it's going to take a little bit of fabric off. See, there was not, that took like very little off. So now this, again, this is another selvage edge. Oops, make sure I get all of these little strings on the corners, make sure I get all those cut off. Okay, now see how that fleece is curling under? I have to make sure that's pulled out so that I'm not taking too much fabric off of there. There we go. Okay, that one is finished. Okay, now I have one more to do. And then that will be, and then I will be finished with serging the edges. Then my next step is to get my skip blade and go around a fourth. I usually do a fourth of an inch to the, okay, I do a fourth of an inch to the inside of this, where I serged that. So it will be a fourth of an inch this way, and I will do that. And now I'm repeating myself. I apologize. Oh my goodness. I am so tired. Oh my goodness. I should not do videos when I am tired. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right, so okay, now the reason I took off this much is because that selvage edge was that wide for that one. And I didn't want that extra, that selvage to be on there. All right. Okay, so all of those fleece blankets are edged now for the skip blade. New project for a new month, and this is going to take me probably a week or two to get these done. So this is my new project. I'm going to be working on this between other things. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay, so my goal for the day was to get all of that fleece edged with the serger. I met that goal. My newest project is I am learning how to knit socks. Because I just wanted to learn how to knit socks. I don't know what that's all about. Don't ask me what it's about. I don't know. I don't know. Just wanted to learn how to knit socks. So, I told you a few weeks ago, or a week or so ago, that I had purchased the fruit stand pumpkin from Premier Yarns. There it is. And then I purchased just this last weekend, I purchased mandala string yarn in the colorway Jingle Tinter from Hobby Lobby. And there are all the pretty colors that were in that yarn. So when I went to open that skein and begin knitting with that yarn, it came out in the middle of it came out in one big mass, because the middle of it was the color that I needed to knit. So what I ended up doing was, I'm apt to do this anyway. So here's what happened. All of these pretty colors came out, so I separated them all. All these colors were in there twice. And these would have been really wide stripes. This was like a striped yarn. This is a Lion brand mandala yarn. I'm only going to use 2 or 3 of them. But the ones that I'm going to use, there is enough of each of the colors that I am going to use that will go for, there will be enough for both socks. So Okay, so this is my pumpkin color socks. See the bright oranges and greens, and there's some beige color, all that in there, right? So, except there are 8 colors from that was in this skein of yarn. Okay, all of these colors were in this skein of yarn. There they are, right there. Really pretty colors. So I thought, when I take this apart, if I can get enough of 2 or 3 of the colors, that I could use one color for the toes, one color for the heels, and the other color for the cuffs, that will give me enough of both of these skeins for the foot and the leg of the sock, which I'm going to have more than enough yarn to do that. Okay. So this color right here is the color that I used for the toes. So I have more than enough yarn to do the toe for the second sock. So here, and I was able to add in my pumpkin yarn very nicely, seamlessly, I might add. So from the cast on to this line right here is this orange. And then the last 3, and all of this is my increase rows to make the foot wide enough for my size. And so the last 3 rows, I went ahead and added the farm stand yarn, because I wanted to go ahead and add that in before I just started doing the regular rounds. So now I'm just doing the rounds until my sock is 8 inches before I add the heel. So, and I believe I'm 3 inches in. Let me see. I want to make sure. Yes, I'm 3 inches in. So I keep going rounds until I get to 8 inches, because my foot is 10 inches long, and they say to stop 2 inches before you get to the heel. So I am doing my best to abide by the pattern. Now, the part that got me was I wasn't sure I was going to get to make these socks, because the cast on is called Judy's Magic Cast On. And the way you cast it on is, well, yeah, it's a challenge. I'm going to say it that way. It was a challenge for me. I wasn't sure I was going to get it. I tried it probably 6 or 8 times before I finally got it. I tried it several times Saturday evening. I was getting tired. I had to put it down. I was like, I can't do this when I'm tired. I just can't. So I tried a different cast on, but the thing about it is, when I tried the different cast on, the toe was open, and I was like, the toe is not supposed to be open. It's supposed to be closed already. So it didn't look like right. I spoke with my friend from church who knows a lot about knitting. She knows more about knitting than I do. And she said, no, it doesn't look right. She said, I think you're supposed to do the cast on that the pattern suggests, because that toe is supposed to be closed. So I thought, well, okay, I'm going to go back to YouTube. I'm going to see if there's a different tutorial on the Judy's Magic Cast On that will show it to me in a way where I will understand it, where I can get it. So I went back to YouTube and I tried 2 more tutorials, and I finally came across one where the person went kind of slow, a little bit slower, and did the tutorial in a way where my brain went, there it is, and I finally understood it. So I was able to do the cast on. I was able to begin my rounds. I've been doing my knitting. It's not as pretty as it could be, but it is here, and I am knitting a sock from the toe up. So I'm not gonna frog it and redo anything. It's not, it's not as pretty as it's not professional or anything, but I'm the one that's gonna wear it. It's gonna be inside my shoe. And I go stocking feet when I'm at home anyway. More than likely, nobody else is going to see this sock but me. But I mean, here it is to the best of my ability. I am knitting this sock with yarn that I purchased by myself. I am knitting. I am proud of myself for learning how to knit a sock. Okay. This is one of my, I think I've said this in a previous video. I do challenges for myself. What new thing can you learn? Challenge yourself to learn something new that you've never done before. Something that's even a little bit difficult, like casting on this Judy's Magic cast on. That was a bit difficult. I mean, it took me a little bit of brain power, but I cast that thing on and I started knitting that. And yeah, it was a challenge, but I did it and I got those increases done. I marked off the increases as I did them. What I did to make sure that I was getting all of the increases and everything in the correct place, I put my stitch markers where they were supposed to go. And I made a list of where the increases needed to go. So the first 3 rounds were increase rounds. And then after that, you go knit 1 round, increase, knit, increase, knit, increase, knit, increase. And I marked it off as I went so I could keep track. And I saved this paper so that when I do my second sock, I can mark it off again so I don't lose it. Because I want to get good enough at knitting socks because my son wants a pair of socks. And if I can knit my pair of socks really nice and good enough that I can say, people can look at them and go, yeah, hey, that's a pair of socks, then I can say, this is good enough that I can knit somebody else a pair of socks. Because I would like to knit, I have grandchildren, they're adult grandchildren, but maybe they would like a pair of socks. Or my daughter, I would like to knit her a pair of socks. And so I would like to be good enough that I could do these things and gift them to other people. So that's that. I mean, scarves, hats, shawls, things like that. That's kind of not a big deal for me. I can usually get those things. The patterns usually come to me fairly easy. I can pretty much do those. But things like, like socks, I've never done that before. And the other things is, I have pretty large hands, so knitting with a size 2 needle and a size 1 yarn, look at how tiny that yarn is. This yarn is really tiny. That is size 1 yarn. That's a 1 weight. And these needles are size 2s. Those are only 2s. They're tiny. They're really tiny. But even though they're tiny, my very large hands, are knitting this yarn. So I am very happy that I can do this. And I'm knitting in the round. And I'm knitting in the round with double point needles, y'all. I'm knitting in the round with double point needles. I have never done that before. I am doing something I have never done before. So that kind of makes me happy. That kind of makes me happy. I'm kind of proud of myself. So that's what I am up to this week. Uh-oh, I dropped a stitch. I've got to go back and pick that up. Oh my goodness, I just now saw that. Where is my crochet hook? Where is my crochet hook? Oh my goodness. I'm glad I was sitting here playing with this, because that's the one thing you do not want to do, especially in a sock. You do not want to lose that. You don't want to lose a stitch. Really don't. Let's get that stitch back on there. Ooh, goodness. Goodness gracious. Let's see, can we get that back on there? Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. Put that back on there like that. And it wasn't like 2 or 3 rows back. It was the same row that we're already on, so it wasn't like, I'm glad it wasn't 2 or 3 rows back. So that's a good thing. Okay, there it is. All fixed. All fixed and done. Yay. Okay. All fixed. Okay. 'Tis done. Okay, anybody else needs to be fixed while we're at it, while we're playing with this? I do that. I inspect my work from time to time. I stop and I inspect and I look to make sure that everything is in its place, to make sure things are where they're supposed to be. Because I don't like to have to unknit or, things like that. That's just not okay. Not okay. All right. All fixed. So there's that. Yeah, I'm making socks. Um, what else am I working on? The other thing that comes to mind, speaking of whips, speaking of knitting, I am still working on my sweater. I haven't put any love into this sweater in a while. And I did say that this was going to be a long-term project and I might not work on it I might, work on it and then put it down and then work on it and put it down. And I have been thinking about this and I do need to pick this up and work on it some more because I do want to get this finished. It's probably going to be a fall sweater and I do want to wear it September, October probably. It's going to be a very nice little sweater. So yeah, I'm going to be working on this summer and trying to get this finished up. So this is going to be very nice. So I'm working on this too. I do believe there was something I wanted to. I'm saving this for you guys. I'm a little sad about it, but then I'm kind of not sad about it. The shawl that I was making, the Yes Yes shawl, that I really like it because it kind of looks like a butterfly. I have come to the point where I am going to frog this. I may restart it at some other point, but I am so discouraged with it. I have frogged and started over and frogged and started over with these. Okay, so once you've done the pattern, then the pattern repeats itself. For the last 4 rows repeat themselves. Row 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay. So I did row 10, 11, 12, and 13. I'm on the second pattern repeat. For whatever reason, I cannot get it correct. My count is off. I don't know what is going on. I have watched tutorials on it. I have done everything I could to get it right, and it still is not coming out. So I am going to scrap this pattern. Sometimes that's the way it is. Sometimes you just have to say, that's it, I'm done. I'm going to find a different project to do because I'm not going to waste any more time on this. As pretty as it is, I am sad to see it go, but there it is. That's it. I will find something else to do with this beautiful yarn. It is Lion Brand yarn, and it's my favorite. One of my favorite colors is burgundy. You can see how pretty that is, and that would have been gorgeous in that shawl. And it was beautiful in that shawl. So I am going to find a different shawl to make with this yarn. So there is that. And I was saving that for you guys. So there it is. That's all there is to it. And with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Just wanted y'all to know what I was up to this week. This week and next week, I will be crocheting those large pieces of fleece for the Linus Project. If you want to do things like that, you can look up online, go to the Linus Project and you can Google it. Go to the Linus Project and look for Linus Project in my local area. You can find your local chapter, what have you, and they will tell you who your closest Linus Project people are and get in touch with your Linus Project. So there's that. The other thing you can do if there is not one close to you, Creative Grandma on YouTube. I can share her information with you. She has been advertising that they are doing a Linus Project drive through her channel. So you can go look her up on YouTube and do a help with a project for them as well. So you can do that if you want as well. So what else was I going to say? I believe that's it. I am going to say goodbye again. Sorry about that. You guys have a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.